me, right? Okay.
Nah, but it's fine. I'm a fix it. I'm gonna fix it in the way where I the post, and it'll tag you right in it. I'm gonna fix that while we doing this. And so right now we are live. We are live. We are live. Listen, I encourage everyone who is viewing this right now to please like, share, and comment. We welcome you back to another episode of The Journey Within, brought to you by the author and public speaker, Brian Skinner. And I am excited and elated to be here tonight. We have a very special guest on tonight with a very special friend of mine who I have been knowing since forever, it feels like. I think I've been knowing her for about 6 or 7 years, something like that. If it haven't been, I'm gonna be knowing her 6, 7 years. So I am excited and elated to introduce to a whole lot of people out there, the one and only Tasha. Yes.
Thank you so much, Brian, for that beautiful introduction. And yes, you're right. We've been knowing each other for 6 years and counting.
Yeah, 6 years. I knew it. And so I plan to know you for the rest of my life because you are good people. I will tell you all, I'm excited about what's going to happen. And Tasha, I did share this on your page. So you should be able to see it. And so listen, if you're listening to us right now, definitely share this on Facebook. This will also be uploaded on YouTube. And also this will be on all major listening platforms. So Apple, Google products, Spotify. You can even hit the bootleg man up that sells cigarettes. And guess what? He'll have a copy for you. Look, you want to subscribe to The Journey Within. Tonight we are going to get in, and I welcome everybody that's on tonight. I see everybody. Please share this. I see my brother out there. Thank you for liking it, Doc. Now share it. Thank you, Corey. Share this on to your page to help spread this word. Tasha is on. I'm excited tonight, and we're going to continue the discussion about shallow water versus the ocean. And we're going to get into this topic very discreetly. So again, like, share, comment. Also, you can view us on the all listening platforms. You can see us definitely. I'm excited tonight. Listen, we're going to continue this discussion. If I could just set the table for tonight. I used Maslow hierarchy of needs, where Maslow talks about physiological needs are met, safety and security is met, loving and belonging, cognitive needs are met, aesthetic needs are met, and then self-actualization. That's the whole pyramid. And I said in my previous discourse that you can only experience physiological loving and belongingness needs in the shallow water. And so while those needs get met, a lot of times in shallow water, we have to make opportunities can be given to us if we shortchange ourselves to a certain degree. But in the deep, in the ocean, we create our own opportunities. And so I wanted to bring on Tasha. Tasha is the first guest that I've had on my podcast. Listen, I'm going to share a little bit about me and Tasha. Tasha and I met each other at Governor State University about 6 years ago. And we met each other, and Tasha, I got to tell you, Tasha is hilarious. Tasha used to get me in trouble in class. She would have me laughing at the wrong time. Tasha was awesome, but guess what? Tasha was a great accountability partner. And she's one of the reasons why I have the degrees that I have. And so I recall meeting Tasha, and we hit it off, man. We laughed, we joked. Tasha, tell a little bit about what happened.
Brian, it was such a pleasure meeting you. You started my journey at GSU. You really did. How we met was, and we had a class together. Okay. And in that class, I must have said something to the professor, and I didn't know how I said it, and you bust up laughing at me. And from there, And from there, we just hit it off. You thought I was the funniest thing. So from there, we just hit it off. But also, you kept me, you was an accountability partner for me as well. And someone who just empowered me and inspired me. So I appreciate your friendship.
Yes, yes. Tasha was awesome, man. Man, we'll be at the library early, and I get there. She'll be there at like 8 o'clock, and I get there about 1 on the Saturday, man. So I appreciate that. Listen,
but tell the truth though. Hold on, wait, stop right there and tell the truth. I get there to the library, and what happened? We wouldn't get no work done.
We couldn't work well together because we'll start laughing and talking, and you know how it is. We get to talking about stuff and stuff going on in the class and all of that. And the next thing you know, time to pass us by, and then they done kicked us out.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying.
That is so true. That is so true.
And so even now, even with the transition, if you don't mind, Tasha, we'll get into that whole transition piece after graduating from college and what happened between us, if you don't mind. If you don't want to share, cool. But let's talk about the journey of going to college and what that looked like for you, because I know for me, I just wanted to stop after I obtained my associates. I just wanted to stop going any further. It's like I went to college, I did that, but I had somebody to push me to go further and say, no, keep going. And so we could just talk about that for a minute, Tasha. What did that look like on your end?
I always say my journey in higher education, it was from self-hate to self-love. I didn't understand when I was in college, I did not love myself. I wasn't I didn't appreciate where I was at. I didn't understand where I was at. I didn't, because once again, you've been put in the bubble. So now I'm getting this bachelor's, I'm getting this master's. Now I've been put in the bubble. So I didn't understand of how to appreciate my accomplishments until I got out of college and started my own journey. But in school, I really didn't, it was hard for me. It was hard, even with graduating. I didn't appreciate my degree. Like, I couldn't be happy for myself. It was one of the things now, like, I felt like they was going to find out some type of lie about me. They call it, the imposter syndrome. So they, I didn't feel like I put in the work. And that was just all because of the trauma and stuff that I was going through. And it went with me through college as well.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like you had like dealt with some negative previous encounters upon embarking upon a college journey, where I don't know if it was people that told you like you couldn't do it or what that looked like. What was those black and white systems? Because here, the journey within and winning in the gray, I talk about the black and white systems that we need to fire out of our life. And so if you could just talk about those black and white systems that you had to overcome.
Oh, yes. It all rooted back from elementary school when I was in 8th grade. I will never forget one of my 8th grade teachers. She went around the classroom, was telling everybody who was going to be this and that. And she came to me and she said, Tasha, you ain't going to be nothing. And that stuck with me throughout my class. I laughed it off because all the other kids was laughing. We young, but that followed me through my journey. Oh, and I kept that in the back of my mind. So it was that, and then also being a first generation student, that was also a lot of pressure.
Okay. Wow.
Because now we have the family who feels like you better, you this, you that. So I was dealing with all that.
Wow. Oh my God. So number one, you had to deal with a teacher telling you you wasn't gonna be nothing. Did you go to public school?
Yes, I did.
I did too. Oh my God. I've been told a whole lot of things. I was called everything but a scholar. Let me see. You had to overcome that teacher telling you wasn't nothing. And then also you had to overcome things within yourself. And so those things that was put within yourself, was it put within yourself by other people? Because like that teacher that put that in your mind and you carried that on, was you able to, how did you overcome that? Like, what did that look like? Like, have you dealt with that? Like, how did you deal with that? Did you have to deal with that in order to complete that journey with college?
That's why I call it the self-hate to self-love, because I had to get to self-love. And that part was me taking control of my life, understanding what I was doing. Okay. And one of them being in control of my own life. And that started for me just loving who I was.
Yeah.
And being happy for my own achievements and not waiting on somebody else to validate me. See, we do a lot for validation. So, when you talk about that shadow to that deep end, sometimes that's what makes it's hard for people to go into that deep end. Because people sometimes, it's like people put you in the shadow out. Sometimes you don't be there, people put you there. That's just like the mask. I always say people put the mask on me. I never did put the mask. It was put on me. So so basically it was me rediscovering myself outside of higher education.
Wow, oh my God. See, I told you was gonna look, I'm just riding the bus. You the one that's driving it. You said that a lot of times that a lot of people can place you in the shallow water. Like you don't ask for it.
From childhood, yes. It could be sometimes not knowing, even with our parents, the things that we've been through, them not knowing, because this life don't come with no instructions. But sometimes that's where it starts, sometimes from our childhood.
Yeah.
So we have to break a lot of curses, generational curses.
Wow. So you talk about mask, you talk about generational curses. Man, you're talking about a whole lot. And a whole lot of this, you'll find this stuff in shallow water. And I heard you say, in order to get to the ocean, the deep water, I heard you said that you had to start loving yourself. So you had to reconnect with yourself. What did that look like? How did you reconnect yourself? Because that can be hard. I know it was hard for me.
The main thing, Brian, was knowing my history. When you don't miss that important piece of who you really are and your history, that's how I found that I was lost. It was like links in a chain that was missing. And that was one of the links. So that was one of my is understanding my history, understanding my flaws. Self-love is just not a beautiful route. It's one of them things where you find out the flaws about yourself. You find out, like you said, these generational curses, you find out all these different things. So that was my journey to self-love, is discovery. These new things about myself.
Wow. And a whole lot of those things you could discover in shallow water because of all of those components that you just outlined, the generational curses, the mask, people putting you in that, people kind of basically just forced you in that area, and it's like a box. And so now you had to work yourself out of the box that people have placed you in. They placed you in a cage. It's just like taking a lion who's supposed to be in the jungle, but you place them in the cage. I feel bad, and I'm gonna say this. I don't know who I'm in, for the animals in the zoo, because I'm like, man, I know this ain't your habitat. So it's like I could kind of relate to what animals go through, because a lot of people have placed those things. And so you name some things that other people have went through as well. That teacher, those generational curses, other people. Those are things that we have to deal with. You have to connect with yourself. Self-love, that's so important if you're going to fulfill the journey that's within you. Because, in the book, we say that what's inside of us create the world that you live in. Yeah.
I like that.
And I look at you, Tasha, and Tasha, you was a great example, because all through you kept pushing through. You had your moments where it seemed like you didn't know like which direction to go, but like you kept pressing, and like you kept showing up, and like you encouraged me even in school, like, nah, Brian, we got to do this. Like, we done came too far. And like I said, you was that inspiration, but you said connecting with yourself. Man, that's deep.
But that's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about a journey, though, because on a journey you meet people. So along that journey we was in, I met you. People help you along the way through these different journeys. Now they may not be on that journey for you for a lifetime, but they there to help you get to that next part of that journey. And that's exactly what you did. So I wasn't nothing but a reflection of you.
Yeah, man. And like I said, if you know me, you kind of know Tasha a little bit. Tasha has a way of challenging me, especially when I get, as they say, in my feelings. Because now, not only I'm gonna share this, not only did we go to college, but we do work together. And so, and Tasha is phenomenal. Oh my gosh, phenomenal work that she does. I don't know, is it okay for me to share? I'm not going to share, like, company or
Please
whatever.
do.
Tasha works with young ladies. She's a counselor. Awesome. Oh my gosh, engagement. They constantly knocking on her door. It can be a great thing. It could be draining as well, because what you're good at can give you life, and it can also give you death. And so, just how did you conquering those feats in that college journey, how has it prospered you, if it has prospered you in your career now in the afterlife of college?
I think it prospered with working with youth. I love working with youth, because as we go back to when I told you in 8th grade, that teacher saying that, but not having a voice. So what I do is give a platform for the youth to have a voice. So that's the reason why, I connected with them so much the way I did, because it's hearing them. You can learn a lot from the youth. They are very resilient. You can learn a lot, but giving them a voice, so that way when they get older, they're able to make these decisions on their own. They're not like how I was. I was scared to make decisions. I had to be validated all the time from so many people, which stirred me away from my own. So, working with youth, give them, because they are our generation, future generation. So giving them that voice. And so they could being heard. Something I wasn't given as a kid. Something I wasn't given. And that's the thing that we are missing with the youth. We, a lot of times, do a lot of thinking for them, because we feel like they can't think for themselves. And that hinders them when they get older.
Oh man, that's you said you give them a platform, something that they didn't give you back in school.
No. What I do is offer, I tell people, school, my higher education was the foundation, but life is what made me become a social worker. I've been through a lot of the things that I help my clients with. So it helps me to better understand them and what they're going through, and giving them a voice. Because as we are all the author of our own life. You're the expert of your own life.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is just helping guide. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you that little push, but you're the expert. You could tell me how to better assist you.
Yes. Yeah, man. You are Tasha tonight. I told you was gonna do this. And let me, if I could just share this about Tasha. Tasha was nervous about coming on and everything. And look at her now. I'm looking like, man, this is why I'm telling you, you got to be around good people. I'm telling you, they'll take you far. You just said a mouthful. Giving them a platform, giving them, allowing their voice to be heard, listening, allowing them to be the expert of their lives. It's like you give, what I hear you saying, Tasha, is you're giving a person a permission to be who they are.
There you go. There you go. You heard me knocking.
I'm trying to tell you, because a lot of times, man, you have a lot of people that's caught in shallow water. And so those systems that we talk about, and then also the pressures and rigors of college. Like, college is no joke. Trying to overcome that, balance that, because you're constantly changing as well. And oh my gosh, man, I remember many days us sweating. I could think of yeah.
Brian over there laughing because he know I had some many nights I was crying.
Oh, I wish I could tell that story. I ain't gonna tell it, but oh my gosh, I remember that day. Hey, but I was almost crying too. That's funny. It's hilarious. I mean, we can laugh at it now. It wasn't funny back then, but
it was funny to you then. It was funny to you then. But no, we can't. Overall, we can't laugh about it.
Yeah, definitely. Because at the end of the day, we was able to overcome, and we kept growing. Definitely, knowing Tasha that I see now, I'm like, man, I'm like, you're fine. So like after college, did you have any worries or anything going out? You done got your degree, you got your master's and all of that. Do you have any concerns or worries after college?
Hell yeah. Now I'm like, is they gonna accept me? Now here's when the fear came in. This is when the real fear came in. Like, is they gonna accept me? Am I gonna speak this certain way? Can I do this? Can I do that? So now here we come in this box because now, people have this quote unquote thing about professional. So
Okay.
now, all this was coming up in my head, fear, just fear. And then I went out there and executed every job that I had. So you tell what happens when when you let fear get to you and then when you let it go.
Wow.
So when I let it go, I ended up at a job that I really love.
Okay.
Doing what I really love. But sometimes you got to go through some things. I had to go through some things.
Yeah. And like I said, I remember we graduated and I didn't say we talked a whole lot after graduation. I was gone. I remember after graduation, I think we didn't talk for like what, 4 or 5 months.
Not about a year. This is the journey within. This is our journey. About a year.
Yeah, we didn't talk for about a year, and she was doing her thing, and I was too, and we was all.
But you know what though, Brian? It wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? It was one of the things where I knew that, life had taken you this way, life had taken me that way, but we still came back in the middle at the end.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. And like I said, with that being said, we departed for a year, but our friendship continued to go on because even in that year, I know I'm like, man, I wonder what Tasha what's she up to doing? Like, man, what's going on with her? And just us being caught up in our own individual lives and us in the process of reconnecting with ourselves. And then finally, when we did reconnect, oh my gosh, and I'm like, see, it's meant to be. Like you said earlier, some people are meant to just be in your life for just like a season or a phase. And then some people are lifelong people that you need to keep in your life. And so you're one of those people for me. That's lifelong. My family knows your family. You know what I'm saying? We know each other, you know what I'm saying? And we've helped each other out greatly. And so in order to keep this on, this journey going, we had to meet some people that was going to give us life. That's why in the book, I talk about, man, go on the journey, and the people that you need to meet that's going to carry you on, take you there. And so I had no idea I was going to meet Tasha. I didn't know that. I didn't know who I was going to meet. And man, we got close and everything like that. And I remember being at your graduation party.
Yeah.
And we had a good time at the graduation party, and it was awesome. And I like that we were able to celebrate you. And a lot of times, we as people, we don't know how to celebrate ourselves. I know I struggle with that.
That's the same. That was hard for me as well. That graduation party was hard for me to be celebrated. Wow. It's one thing because we known by society to just keep on pushing, especially as Black people. It's like, keep on going. So we have that in us feeling like enough is not enough. We got to keep on going. So we don't take a minute to stop and appreciate the little things or the big things, because that was big. But now I'm stopping and appreciating just even the little things. I decided, to take a minute for myself today. Pat myself on the back for that. So it's the little thing. It's taking that pause and knowing that it's okay to do that. Because sometimes we feel like it's wrong to take a pause.
Man, see, that's what I'm talking about. See, you got to watch Tasha. Tasha be dropping stuff and think you got to learn. You got to be okay with taking a pause. My gosh, man, you all in our concentration. We majored in concentration holistic practices, which is the body and soul. And taking that pause is so important for us. It's our time to reconnect with ourselves. And so, because of the society that we have built, is always grind. I sleep when I die. Like, that is so ignorant.
Yeah. That pause is for the mental. I always say it's two things in life. You gotta do that pause, and you gotta learn how to take an L. And the L mean a loss. Because in life you gonna have some losses. And I'm learning that you gotta learn how to take them.
Oh gosh. And so I mean,
because they build character.
Ooh, wow. Taking a loss. I'm telling in the ocean. This is ocean talk now. Now, if you shallow, you ain't gonna get this. But maybe you in shallow and you talking about coming on over to this ocean talk now. You got to learn how to take an L.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to take a pause. L's build character.
Yes, it does.
Wow. I'm trying to tell. See, I told you was going to do this tonight.
Look, I can only speak from what I've been through, Brian. I can only speak from what I've been through, and I don't took some losses in my life. And, and I will say they have helped me become the person that I am today.
Yeah. No. Wow. So your losses is a part of your journey, and you have to embrace the losses, the shortcomings, the defeats.
Mm-hmm.
They help. They give you direction. Come to think about it, they give you direction.
There you go. That's that journey. That's that self-love. That's still that journey. Self-love, knowing all these things. Being aware. Self-awareness. Where we go with self-aware. Being aware.
Wow. That's amazing, man. I mean, you saying a whole lot. Take a pause and take an L. If you don't take nothing else away from tonight, learn how to take an L and take a pause.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's Tasha, golly. Yeah. Y'all see why I hang around Tasha now.
Stop.
And then also take the celebration too. One thing I can appreciate about Tasha and I's friendship is when we compliment each other. When we give out a compliment to each other, what we try to do is sometimes, well, let me speak for me. What I'll do is I try to out compliment you.
Yeah, same here.
Right. And so what we do for each other is sit there and take it. Like, sit there and take it. And we appreciate that because that's putting life back into us. That's the way we replenish ourselves. And so a lot of times we don't take the compliments when somebody says, oh, you did a good job. You're really good at this. Oh, man, you really handled this. And then all you try to do is you try to deflect that. Embrace that. Sit in it. Yeah. It's uncomfortable, but that's what we do for each other.
Yeah. And I love that we does that because what that does, you have taken up space for me, and I have taken up space for you. And I appreciate that. It's hard to find some people to do that, to give you that space.
Yes. Oh, wow, man. Oh, I mean, shallow water versus ocean. Look, if you did not get nothing else tonight, learn how to take an L. Also take a pause. And also we talked about tonight, Tasha outlined her journey of the shallow water and how people put a mask on her, what they wanted her to look like. They put her in a box. They told her that she could not do it. She overcame those things. She did take L's along the way, because in the ocean, you will take some L's. You will have moments of struggle. You will experience moments of despair.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, those things up to it. Go ahead, take it, Tasha.
Can I just say something with the L? Because with taking the L, you can feel that pain. Because I'm not saying, how some people, it's not easy to take a L. Put it like that. It's not easy. So it's okay to feel that pain of that, but it's not getting stuck in it.
Yeah.
Not getting stuck in it.
Yeah. Wow. Not to get stuck in it. Wow. That is so true, because a lot of times L can take us under.
Yeah.
A whole lot of things. The L can be the loss of a loved one.
Mm-hmm.
You made a mistake, or you made a bad investment, or you invested much in the wrong person. And a lot of times we can get so deep and caught up into that until now we're stagnant in our growth, and now we don't move forward because we got stuck there. And so some things in life are a stop sign, and then some things are a stoplight. And you got to recognize the difference between the stoplight and the stop sign.
Ooh, come on. Come on. Tell us real quick before tell us the difference between the two.
Stoplight is for a second.
Okay.
Stop sign is for a second. A stoplight allows traffic to go by. So you watch the traffic that goes past, because a lot of times when you avoid those stoplights, and if you drive past the stoplight, you end up getting in an accident.
So taking a pause.
Yeah, taking a pause. We're going right back. I'm telling you, said that tonight, Tasha. Learn how to take a pause, man. God, take a pause, y'all.
You deserve it. Like, you deserve it. Don't let nobody tell you different. You deserve that damn pause.
Because the pause is a way for you to reconnect with yourself.
There you go.
We're so disconnected, and we have operated in dysfunction. It's not even funny. In fact, we become maladaptive to our dysfunctionality. That's shallow water. But I'm telling you, when you go out into the ocean, you're gonna reconnect with yourself. Them L's, you're gonna feel it. When you gotta get into environment, because your environment could be your empowerment or your detriment. So you're gonna feel it. But man, I'm telling you, but you're gonna reach your self-actualization in the ocean, something that the shallow water cannot give you.
Sink or swim.
Sink or swim. See, I told you was gonna do this tonight, Tasha. Now you know I'm gonna get on you after we get off of this. I knew you was gonna get off. I told you, I'm just in the back seat. You driving it, and oh my gosh, you are dropping some major nuggets tonight, man.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And so, look, y'all, again, share, comment. I know I shared it on your page, Tasha. It's on my page as well. It's on the author page. Listen, and it's going to be on the YouTube page and YouTube channel. And also, this podcast will be made available in the next 10 minutes on all listening platforms. Google, Apple, Spotify, you name it, Stitcher. You will get a chance to experience this. Listen, I want to thank personally my friend, my good friend, Tasha, for coming on this journey and allowing herself to be vulnerable on this podcast and actually going forth with this podcast. She was nervous about doing it, but she did an excellent job. She carried the podcast on tonight like I knew she would. And man, she has greater things ahead of her. So I appreciate you, Tasha. I really do.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity and to, have start on my first episode, my first podcast. So thank you so much for giving me that space and creating a safe space to do so. So thank you for that.
Appreciate it. Well, you all, that's our time. Thank you for joining us with the Journey Within. We will see you next week, right here next Monday, with another special guest. With that, you all, we are out.